What's up guys, welcome back to HynesZ YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be giving you an update on the Pro Academy EVO1 S14. Alright, before we jump into this vlog, make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video. We've got plenty of updates for you guys regarding sim drifting, real life drifting, content creation. Yeah, make sure to stay tuned into this video if you're interested in everything, all things HynesZ, all things drifting. You might be interested in listening to that. So it's been some time since we've done an update vlog on the Pro Academy S14. Last time you guys would have seen it, it would have been fairly complete with a lot of bits and pieces on it, and it was sitting on the ground. Now since then, it's been stripped down to a bare shell pretty much, and it's now at the point of where we're nearly ready for assembly again of parts. Now, there's been quite some things happened in the meanwhile. One of those was the chassis straightening. So the one thing I want to talk about here is the fact that we actually straightened up the chassis. Now, we might remember our crash that we had right here. So that was obviously my worst crash in drifting, and it had caused actually a lot more damage than what we expected. And so one thing we had to definitely do when we got the car back from Oman last year was to get it straightened. Now, we didn't really know to what extent we have to get it straightened. We weren't even sure if the car needed to be straightened in the first place. So when we stripped it off, we did some measurements. We found out very quickly that the car was actually twisted. So the main thing was that this corner of the car here, which you saw in the video clip, had been pushed in. And when you have a collision like that, when it gets pushed in here, due to the strength of the chassis and the engine and stuff in place with your subframe, it has to move somewhere. You know, we've got a lot of support here. We've got this really big thick bar that goes down to the chassis leg here. And so when we had the accident, it pushed in the strut top, and it has to go either up or down because that is the way of least resistance. So from what we understand, it was pushed in, pushed down, which then showed a little weird angle here on the corner of the chassis leg, and which pushed that corner of the chassis leg or the strut tower down. But then it also transferred over to this side of the chassis, and that actually puts the chassis up, actually raised the chassis up. So essentially, this chassis leg was further down, and this one was up. I'm pretty sure there was like a 14mm difference overall, but essentially meant that we had more camber on this side due to the fact of the strut tower being pushed in, and it also meant on that side we had a different amount of camber as well. So not even any of the two front corners of the car were correct in alignment specs that we would have had originally set with our suspension setup. Now, the other problem was also in the rear, and we didn't really discover this until not long after pulling the rear subframe of the car off after it came back from the body shop. And that is where we had to even do more work. So right now we're just underneath the car, and I'm about to show you the work that my dad and my good friend Richie and Keith did to the rear chassis mounting points, or the rear subframe mounting points for this car. It's quite a common problem, but you might see right here that there's actually been a bit of welding and support onto the suspension or the subframe and mounting bolts. And this is a common issue on this chassis. This corner was actually fine, we left it alone. But this is becoming more of a more regular issue on these cars as they start to pull the subframe mounting points out of their actual, I suppose, their positioning. And so not only do we have to do this one back corner over here, we also had to do this corner here, and you can't even tell that it's been even messed with, but a lot of strengthening had been done inside the actual chassis rail to be able to reinforce the mounting points. Now, the subframe cracking, or sorry, this is subframe mounting point cracking is actually not a is actually a fairly common thing, especially in the BMW chassis, but it's becoming more and more problematic in S chassis as well, especially the S15, oddly enough. The S chassis, actually, funnily enough, the S15 has been kind of considered as the weakest S chassis of the lot. So, yeah, so that was an unforeseen issue that we didn't really think was going to happen with the car. But when we pulled off the subframe, it had to be done, because if we didn't, it would have never been done, and the rear subframe would have fallen out of the car at some stage. So yeah, we competed in Oman not only with a twisted chassis, but also with a subframe that was about probably one round away from pulling itself out of the floor of the car, which is obviously not ideal. One of the things you might notice as well is that we actually have a lift now, which is actually really nice. I don't think I showed that before. Maybe we did, I can't really remember. But we have a lift now, which is really nice. So you can just like stand here and watch it go up and down. Yeah, as I stand here awkwardly waiting for it to go down. Does it go any faster, Dad?
Flat out.
you're flat out. Anyway, so this is what he's been slaving on for the past some time while I've been sitting inside working on work stuff. This is our new rear setup. Now, one of the main reasons we had to do this was because of our quick change setup that we put into the car, right? Yeah. Which we'll get into very shortly. So this is the Group D 30 litre fuel tank. And everything you see here right now is all supplied by Group D. The marine hosing that we use for our water lines is super flexible. It's way cheaper than putting in, you know, braided hosing and AN fittings, or even putting steel piping in, or aluminium piping in and stuff. So it's really flexible, really easy to put in. It's super affordable. The fuel tank was supplied, all the fittings, the lines, our fuel pump, our twin 044 pumps that we've got inside here, all supplied by Group D, and it looks fantastic. Now, the fabrication work was done by himself, my dad, and it's been something that has been taking some time, but I think it turned out really, really good. It's not completely finished. We have an extra firewall to put in the rear window and stuff. Some stuff has to be cleaned up here for the mounting points of the boot lid, but for the most part, this is what it's going to be looking like, and I don't think it's going to come out again, is it?
Hopefully not.
Unless something else pops up, though, we have to take it out again, which is not ideal. So yeah, that's the main thing that's been happening for the past some time. There's also some things in the cockpit of the car as well. Such as our brand new gearbox tunnel to take our 4-speed dog box that we have, our G-Force dog box. So that's been done for quite a little bit of a while. Really nice. Remove the passenger hump for that would usually be kept for the OEM exhaust. We don't need that, and so we decided to cut it out, give us some extra room for passenger seat. We've got our water lines, we've got our fuel lines. They're now running through underneath the car above the subframe, so this should be super nice and neat inside here. Honestly, I think you would agree as well that this is how we would have liked this car to be done from the start, almost.
Yeah, very often you're under pressure with events coming up and you need to get the car finished by a certain deadline. I suppose with COVID and with all these events being cancelled, it did give us a lot more extra time to put a bit more work into the car, you know.
I think as well, like, we had no intentions to go this far with this car. EVO2 is not going to be ready in time, and that car requires a lot more time, a lot more money as well to kind of get up and going. And so instead of like just doing what we would have normally done, which is like try and throw something together and get it ready, it makes sense just to keep that car and, you know, save up over a couple more months and just make it perfect, so that it's like, you know, we're not in a year's time after it finishing rebuilding it again with the intentions of making it a tiny bit better. At least we're giving ourselves some more time. It also means that the car that I'll probably never sell forever, this S14 I've had since 2011, has now a refresh of something that I've always wanted to be, which is the most badass version of it that it can be. Mind you, it won't have its, you know, 800 horsepower engine, but it'll have something fairly close to that, which is pretty freaking cool. Okay, we need to put a subframe in the car, don't we?
Yep.
So let's show our quick change, Group D quick change, and subframe setup. I'm pretty sure we covered everything else so far. Yeah, exciting times, right? Let's go. Alrighty, so this is our Group D quick change with the Group D subframe kit as well. Powder coating came out on this pretty nicely. There's a bit of pitting, alright. That was from this subframe. It's a bit rusty, a bit of an oversight on our behalf, really, using quite a bad subframe, but it seems to be fairly strong. We've got our subframe riser bushings. We just don't have it all the way up right now. I think we need to actually remove the nuts and put on spacers, because these do raise the subframe up higher into the car. But yeah, that's the quick change in. It looks pretty nice. It looks pretty sweet with the 6 bolts. I suppose the 6 bolt pattern on the quick change, the billet, and got the rear Group D plate as well on that, plus the Group D rear tank as well. So it looks pretty sick, you know, when it's kind of up there, and so it should be pretty nice now when it's all put together, back together nicely. On the other side, we might have noticed as well, we have our fuel lines and water lines as well, which are going above the subframe. We just make sure they were all clear. I think people generally just run them through the top, but we try to run them underneath just to clean up the place and make it a bit easier for our electric water pump that will go here. Most likely, we'll see. We might not run one yet, but yeah, pretty nice. Nice Group D quick change. You can get them through Group D tank as well through Group D. You can also get your subframe modified as well by Group D to fit the quick change. Really nice kit, and I think that's going to be it for tonight. But good steps forward made today. This is a big game changer for us. So to give you guys a few little updates of what's been happening with the real car, with the virtual stuff, and I suppose the content creation stuff that we do as well. So first off, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys did enjoy the vlog. A little bit of an update on the car as we kind of get along. Now we're going to be doing more updates of kind of showing you guys what's been done to the car that week, kind of a thing going forward. The reason being, it's kind of difficult to record things as it's happening. I work here in my office from 8:30 to 5 o'clock in the evening or 5:30. And then my dad's out in the garage while that's happening. Time is tight recently, so it's been quite tough to try and do a bit of everything. So next week we have a big update on Link ECU gear that we had that we got at the start of the season, and that is going to be in next week's video, where we have finally installed with the dash and everything like that. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to stay tuned to this channel next week, and we'll have a new update video on that as well. One of the really cool things, and this is the very, very exciting thing, and one of the main reasons why I'm doing this update video, is the fact that the IDC is back. Irish Drift Championship, the championship that I think that founded many drivers' drift careers, including my own, is finally back. And it's a big deal, to be honest. It's under a new organization now. My dad's involved, and his involvement with Tommy Smith of Drift Days. So it's a big deal for Irish drifting. It's badly needed. We've had no drift series or drift championship for, well, realistically 2 years. So it's great to have it back, and the IDC name, I think, is quite special. It holds quite a bit of pride, I suppose. You know, the Drift Games name back in 2019, you know, it probably wasn't the greatest of branding names for a national drift championship, but I think they did the best at what they had. So all things considering, I think it wasn't a bad year that year, really. But yeah, I'm excited to have it back. It's really needed. For now, I think they're hosting the Irish Drift Championship Open, which is like a kind of like a winter series, and they're hosting 2 events in October next month. So that is our plan, to try and get the car ready for that. That's why we're trying to put a big push on over the next couple of weeks to try and get it ready. The next thing is this coming Sunday, I will be judging in the Japfest Drift King of Ireland, I believe it's called, which is like a little internal competition, invite competition for pro drivers. And now the plan was for me to drive in it. Unfortunately, my car is not going to be ready. As some of you guys may have noticed in this video, it's by no means anywhere near ready. And so because of that, I will be judging this event. So I will be judging with my dad, which is exciting. I quite enjoy judging. I don't want to be a drift judge. It's quite a thankless job, I think. But it's a great way to gain experience and apply it to your driving. So I'm excited for that. Last time I judged was in 2018 for the IDC Pro-Am Championship. And I quite enjoyed it. It was a rainy day, so you know that wasn't nice, and the fact that I was getting wet and stuff. But it's always enjoyable to watch other people's driving, understand how they're making mistakes, and knowing in your head what you would do different to make those mistakes allows you to apply it to your driving and improve it further. So that's obviously a really good experience, and I'm looking forward to gaining some of that again. Okay, next thing is the sim stuff. So you might have noticed, if you were watching or if you're keeping an eye on your socials, that VDC have kind of updated their social media presence, and well, I suppose they've announced season 6 kind of indirectly. So the new VDC season is on the way. Probably a proper announcement is probably in the coming days or something like that, but the season is probably starting in about a month's time or so. And so we're kind of in full force trying to get the virtual car up and going. I don't think we have much to do to it, really. They've released new data for those virtual drift cars. So, you know, if you're kind of keen in this set of cars, the drift scene, you would have seen VDC update to the 2.0 pack has been released with new tires, new physics, new data for this chassis, new models and stuff like that. So I think we'll just drive the S15 again. Probably change the engine, definitely update the physics to the latest what they have, and see what it's like. I'm the defending champion of season 5 of last season, so very excited to try and keep that and hopefully bring back another championship for us in Project Academy. So that would be pretty awesome. Okay, so the last bit of news is our Twitch channel update. It's the fact that we've updated the channel name to HynesZ now. 6 months later, I finally was able to get the opportunity to change it, so that was nice. So that was one update. The next thing is I do plan on trying to stream at Japfest this coming Sunday on the channel. on Twitch, that is. So if that's something you guys would like to see, make sure to stay tuned Sunday, and we'll try and show some of the stuff in car show. Maybe we can show some of the drifting. Maybe we can live stream the drifting from the judging tower. That would be quite sick if we could do that. So we will see. I might just do it, and if I get into trouble, I say sorry, and maybe I don't ask for permission. I don't know, we'll see. And we'll see whatever works best. But we'll try and see if we can do something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Now, you might have also noticed that the Twitch and YouTube channels have died off on the content a little bit. And I do plan on getting back onto that again. We'll be releasing a how to set up drift cars on a set of Corsair guide in the coming week or so. I've been working on that. Trust me, guys, I have been working on it. And anyone who's part of our Discord might have known why that's taken a little bit longer than what we've wanted, than what I would have wanted. And so, yeah, that should hopefully help you guys out with a set of Corsair. But we have also a little update as well, or announcement in that video as well, which might help you guys out as well with your drift careers on a setup. So, yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that. Hoping to try and get out in the coming weeks, but we'll try and get over the vlogs first of all, and then we will go full steam ahead with that. Other than that, guys, I think that is pretty much it. If there's anything else important, I'll throw it down in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy this vlog. Let me know what you think of the video as well. And yeah, we will talk to you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and we will talk to you guys another time. Peace. Goodbye.